Man, you know what I really loved about this movie was the fact that it had just such an original plot line.
Yeah, I really hate whenever you can tell when a movie blatantly rips off another movie.
Yeah, exactly. This movie, just everything about it was just so original.
Peculiar.
Wait, that's not what we got. This is.
Dad, I'll make the right face. Then I would finally fit in.
Sweetie, you're so handsome when you make that face. I think he's ready, Mel.
The Emoji Movie is directed by Tony Leondis.
And it stars T.J. Miller, James Corden, Anna Faris, and Maya Rudolph. And as we showed earlier, Sony actually had plans to make a Popeye movie, but they put those plans on hold so that they could make this Emoji Movie. And to be honest, that might not have been the best idea for them.
And this film takes place in a high school freshman named Alex's phone, where we get to see a world called Textopolis where emojis live. And in this world, all the emojis are all able to make only one face, except for one emoji named Gene, who is a meh emoji, and he cannot get himself to avoid making all other emotions. And so he's on the verge of being deleted by the higher up, so he goes on a journey to reprogram himself to only be able to make the meh emotion. And yeah, guys, that's what the movie is actually about.
In all honesty, this movie really felt like it was a movie that did not need to exist at all. It just felt like a way that Sony could grab money based on the popularity of emojis.
So last year there was a nice little movie called The Angry Birds Movie. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually hated that movie. If you want to go back and see how much I hated that movie, you can see that. But this movie felt like it did not need to be made even more than the Angry Birds movie, because the Angry Birds movie was based off this stupid little phone game. And the phone game actually had a tiny little bit of a story that could have been made into a movie. The movie was so awful, but it had a reason to be made. This movie had absolutely no reason to be made whatsoever.
And this movie felt like an amalgamation of Wreck-It Ralph, the Lego Movie, and Inside Out, but it didn't have nearly as much of an impact as those three other movies.
And as you could probably tell from the trailer, this movie had no funny jokes whatsoever. Every joke in this movie just fell flat, and I truthfully cringed at every single one of them.
Just to let y'all know, guys, we aren't trying to judge these jokes too harshly because it is a kids movie, but we were in a theater full of kids, and we can both just barely remember them laughing at maybe just one joke in this entire movie.
And there's a few jokes that don't even make sense in this movie. For example, there's a scene where the female character Jailbreak is trying to say her plan, and Gene is all like, well, so what you're saying is this. And so Jailbreak kind of gets mad and says, oh, well, all men always try to take the credit for stuff, whenever Gene had just said, so what you're trying to say is this.
This movie tried to throw in as many cliche moments that they could find from any other kids movie. Like you got the kid who doesn't fit in, you've got the parents who don't believe in them, you've got the society who sort of shuns them, and a lot of other ones, but they don't portray them in a way that we actually care. One thing I hated was the character High Five. He's probably one of the most annoying characters I've ever seen in a movie, and yes, that's including Jar Jar Binks.
As Zach said earlier, this movie has a hard time getting us to care about what is going on, and that probably has to do with the ridiculous plot of this movie. And they have a lot of scenes where they try to make it emotional, they try to make us a little sad or feel for the characters. And in those scenes, I just absolutely felt nothing at all for what was going on. And the writing for this movie, not just the jokes, but just the dialogue in general, was just completely terrible. There was a lot of times in this movie where they tried to be motivational, but it just kind of came off as really cheesy and lazy.
So guys, we're about to talk about some spoilers, so if for some reason you have high anticipation for this movie, you can go to this timestamp right here to see our grades and the end of this video.
There's a part in this movie where High Five tells Gene that Jailbreak likes him, but before this moment there's actually no hints at all that I could see that showed that Jailbreak liked Gene. And also the development of the romantic interest between Jailbreak and Gene didn't really have that much substance or that much power behind it.
There's a moment when High Five is put in the trash can of the phone, and Jailbreak and Gene have to go on a journey to go rescue him. But it didn't have the emotional impact that they wanted to have. Because first of all, Gene and Jailbreak barely had to do anything to get to him. In fact, they probably had one of the most fun parts of the movie because they went through like the music and everything, and they went on like a boat and had like a lot of fun together. And so whenever they finally did get to him, it was maybe only like 5 minutes of the whole movie. And also, we didn't even truly care for these characters to begin with, so the emotion in the scene was pretty much non-existent.
The story of Alex had very little screen time in this movie, and that's fine and all.
What should I do?
Be chill.
What?
Send her an emoji.
You know, but it still felt cliched. But at the end of this movie, they tried to merge together the stories of Alex and the stories of the emoji for the conclusion, but it really just felt forced.
So at the end of the movie, they had a very feel-good moment where all of the emojis were invited to the VIP section, which at the beginning of the movie was only exclusively for Alex's favorite emojis. But in reality, if my phone actually did that, that would really make me angry.
And especially considering that the issues that Gene was causing was making Alex go and getting everything on his phone deleted, which would ultimately be destroying their world, it seems like they would try their best to steer away from an issue like this. So guys, this movie is truly terrible. At the end of it, I actually caught myself just staring at the screen in awe at the fact this movie was actually made. So I'm gonna go ahead and give the Emoji Movie an F.
Now, I went to this movie expecting it to not be very good, so I tried to find any good thing about it, but I honestly couldn't find anything. So I'm gonna give the Emoji Movie an F.
So guys, just so y'all know, we're trying to change our grading system to something that's kind of more of our own. We have a few ideas, one of those being like percentage of awesomeness, but we're not sure yet. If you have any ideas on that, just comment below, and that will really be helpful to us. Well guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also comment below and let us know what you thought about this movie.
And don't forget to follow us on social media. We have a Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at 2awesomemen.
And as always, thank you so much for watching, and you will see us later.